Hi, I'm Todd. This is Nadeem. We're excited to talk about our new product, Planwright, and we're both very experienced CTO, VP engineering type guys, and we're exploring the future of agentic engineering, and both freaked out for different reasons. My reason for freaking out is I was helping a client with an initial SOC 2 audit, and at the same time, we were doing a lot of Claude code, seeing the power of how agents can develop software a lot faster, but at the same time thinking, oh man, there's no way in hell this is going to pass a SOC 2 audit because you have to have that closed loop human approval in the SDLC. So this year, from my perspective, there are new rules where you can pass a SOC 2, but I couldn't find any tools in the market that would save all the evidence from these agentic coding runs. And at the same time, I called my old buddy Nadeem, and he was actually working on the same problem at the same time. So you want to talk about your journey through agentic engineering?
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. So, like Todd said, I've got several decades of experience in the software engineering world, building products, teams, and now in the midst of an industry-wide transformation of transforming the traditional software development cycle to the AI-assisted and AI-native future. So I've come to believe AI-native organizations share three defining characteristics. First, humans express intent, right? So they set direction, define objectives, make decisions, supervise outcomes. They don't micromanage execution. Number two, AI agents do the work. So that means they collaborate with other agents, integrate with engineering tools, preserve context across projects, and report progress as they execute. And thirdly, the most important in my view, the organization needs to get better with every cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Every completed objective needs to create feedback that improves how future work is planned and executed. And those three principles really became the foundation of Planwright. You know, for humans, we know people think non-linearly, and that transfers to how people work with agents, right? So with Planwright, you can capture all your ideas at any time, create and park objectives for later, while Planwright stays out of the way. It does not get in between you and your agent session, letting your agents work directly with you instead of forcing everything through another project management workflow. Number two, for agents, Planwright becomes the shared operating system. Through our MCP, multiple agents can share the same plans, context, and execution state while connecting to tools like GitHub, Jira, and Figma. Context stays intact as work moves across agents and projects, and project status comes directly from agents doing the work, not from humans updating tickets. All right. And then thirdly, Planwright closes the learning loop. It measures execution, throughput, workflow performance, and then turns those insights into mission briefs that help both humans and AI agents perform better on the next objective. Right, so we believe AI native teams need more than just AI powered features. They need infrastructure designed around how we work together, right? And that's why we built Planwright.
Let's see it.
So I'm going to sign in real quick. Log in using my GitHub ID, and we have a number of workspaces here. We have various evaluations and clients working through. Here's a few projects. One of the projects, in fact, we are at this point using Planwright to build Planwright. So if that's not validation, I don't know what is.
Yeah, we're building a lot with this.
Yeah, so you see quite a few artifacts here. You've got an objective board, which is really a visualization of all the objectives that were created out of the human-agent interaction, right? So you don't necessarily need to come here and create new objectives. The agent does this for you through your interaction in the session that you have with the agent. That could be through Codex, Claude Code, Cursor, you know, pick your tool. And so this is just a visual representation of all the objectives and the different states they're in. Objectives can be organized as initiatives, right? So these are, if you're coming from the Jira world or linear, these are kind of equivalent to epics, initiatives that comprise of many different objectives or stories that you want to deliver in order to achieve some outcome. If you're more inclined to look at traditional roadmaps, Planwright will build these for you. So coming out of, again, the interaction between humans and agents and the project work, it has complete view of what is in play, what's planned, what's delivered, and can create more traditional views of the project, allowing project managers, release leaders to kind of really dive into the state of the project, risks, things like that. So all completely built autonomously, coming out of the human-agent interaction.
Can you show us one of those cards on the acceptance column?
Yeah, so this is one of the gates that we have, right? So we do believe that human in loop means there has to be certain gates. And these are essentially all the objectives that have been completed by the agent and are ready for acceptance, essentially human review. And you can see it captures the intent of the objective, a detailed description, as well as acceptance criteria that were defined early on, and along with a pretty detailed audit trail of what the human and the agent interaction consisted of, what the agent planning process looked like, what was done, along with a host of other metadata that gets captured.
And my favorite is at the bottom. There's a code commit right into GitHub.
Here's one that does capture the code commit. It also shows all the acceptance criteria. It shows you the state. The agent itself ran automated component and unit tests. It captures the steps that the agent took to test each one of these acceptance criteria. So yeah, all of this really just comes out of everything that the agent does automatically. The human didn't really have to do a whole lot here, but it's all presented for the review process.
Hey, can you switch over to the analytics?
Yeah, so there's two pieces to that. There is project level signals that I just briefly covered. This kind of shows you a tree map of where all the change is happening, like where the objectives, what part of your source code is being touched, what is the rejection rate of the work, right, to identify fragility and things like that. So a ton of insights here. Then Todd, you were interested in looking at the broader workspace insights view. Mm-hmm. That kind of showed you some really interesting metrics coming out of the workflows, things like cycle time and stage latency, which is really some of the most important things when you're looking at agentic workflows.
Yeah, and then this is the thing I think that I had to get my brain around is there's a little thin red bar right in the middle, and that's 16 minutes for execution time. So, humans plan and inject objectives into the system, and then as soon as we decide, hey, this is going to get scheduled and worked on, 16-minute cycle time for the agent to finish the objective, to plan, break down, execute, report back, and test. And then the big yellow bar is the big one for now. And then so that's the acceptance column. So it takes a minute. It takes a week for the humans to come on average and then knock down all this stuff. So what I'm super excited about, and also I think it's the future, is to go faster, humans need help. We don't ever want to take the human out of the loop, right? So this is a challenge of, we don't want to go dark factory, but we want to go pretty darn close to it. And then how do we do that? How do we push the limits? So I think, we're using Claude Desktop. Me personally, I like to take transcripts of all the meetings and talk about what it is that we need to change in the product or what the new product is. And then use Claude Desktop via MCP to inject, make a plan and then create a bunch of objectives and then inject them onto the board. Then we come back and schedule those when it's appropriate as an initiative, as a package. And then what we're seeing is that big yellow bar is where the work piles up. And then we're starting to come in with another agent on the back end via MCP to go look at that acceptance column, go triage, because the human can't possibly get to all the work, and then go triage the low-hanging fruit on the acceptance column. Go ahead and call those done if it's pretty safe, and then make a judgment call as to what the human needs to come in and make a judgment call on a review. So, for example, high security or anything customer facing or any policies, human needs to review that every time. So on some other projects, we're seeing this agentic. You can see now how this is a control plane for all the agents in your ecosystem to talk to each other. And then this is the way to record what happened. You get all of the context files that you have in the system that keep getting added to this project. And your PM planning agent, with an agent, can access all of that and get real-time updates. Your leadership dashboard can come and pull stats daily and put visuals out via MCP. Your coders, you wake up in the morning and then you just say, hey, drain the schedule queue. Or you might say, hey, take on create the new PDFs in the app initiative, and let's work on all of those objectives. So you can do all kinds of really neat things, and then everybody's life gets a lot easier. But we maintain the human in the loop. We maintain the critical documentation, and then that intact chain of events that's cryptographically signed. So an auditor can come in, look at this and go, yep, this is actually better than the humans used to do. So anyway, we are super excited about this new tool, and we are using the crap out of it in all of our new projects, and really going fast and pushing the limits of what's possible. And we would love to have you on board. If you have a GitHub credential right now, that's all you need. Just come on in, OAuth with your GitHub, create a Planwright project, and there's a free tier to get you started. And we'd love to talk to you about it. But thanks for tuning in and helping us launch the product today. Nadeem, thanks for coming along the ride. Yet another adventure. So this is
been a pleasure, Todd.
Yeah. So many more videos to come, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye.